Happy summer, listeners. It's great to be back with you, even if it's just for a small little summer back to school message. Slowly, summer's ebbing out. Yes, some of us are weeping. School is starting. Some of us are weeping. Some of us are rejoicing. It's just that beautiful season of change. And I wanted to get on and wish you all magnificent transitions. Additionally, I wanted to let you know about an opportunity that's coming up. So much of my foundation and everything I learned was taught to me by Dr. John F. Hall. And for several years, there was a group of us that would go to his home every Wednesday night from 7 to 10 p.m. And we would be taught about Nibley or about Egyptian religion or about the bloodline of Christ, or about temples, or about Hermeticism. And so much of my foundation comes from those classes with him. Well, sadly, he passed away this spring, and I've had many people asking me how they could get this type of a background. Well, his widow, Dina, and another fellow student, John Ewer, are going to continue the classes this fall. Once again, they're going to start at the very beginning, as Maria Von Trapp says, a very good place to start. So if you are in the Utah area and you live somewhere around American Fork, Utah, and are willing to make the trek every Wednesday to Dina's residence to engage in study, to meet like-minded people, I couldn't recommend this enough. If this is something you've wanted for a long time, I'm telling you, take the opportunity. It will not last forever. John is an excellent instructor. He's really quite gifted. He's very humble. He's very accessible, which is wonderful. And Dina is amazing to work with. So if you're interested, please email Dina it's Greek to me at hotmail.com. So that's itsgreektome at hotmail.com. Now for the message of today, it's really been floating around my head all summer, and today I wanted to talk to you about something that's really been the message I've been getting all summer. And it comes from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 24. And I'm going to read from a translation by J.B. Phillips. It's called The New Testament in Modern English, Revised Edition. I love J.B. Phillips' translation. He focuses on making sure he gets the English right for those of us who are English speakers, and it's written to young men. So he ended up teaching a bunch of young men, and he wanted them to access Jesus. Then on that same day, we find two of them going off to Emmaus, a village about 7 miles from Jerusalem. As they went, they were deep in conversation about everything that had happened. While they were absorbed in their serious talk and discussion, Jesus himself approached and walked along with them. Okay, a couple really important things there. Two of them, a lot of scholars are actually starting to say that they think this could be more of a couple. You know, as a couple, as you walk around, you have these discussions. You talk about what's going on and what's relevant. And the other part I love here is that Jesus walked along with them. That is such a beautiful illustration of how the Lord walks along with you. Exactly where you're at, he will walk with you. Then he spoke to them. What is all this discussion that you are having on your walk? They stopped, their faces drawn with misery, as the one called Cleopas replied, "You must be the only visitor to Jerusalem who hasn't heard all the things that have happened there recently." "What things?" asked Jesus. And that is the subject for today's podcast. What things? You know, if you want to have a relationship with the divine, what things is the most perfect, fantastic, sublime place to start? It involves a conversation. It involves you disclosing all the things that are in your heart, all of your hopes and dreams, maybe all of your fears and doubts, maybe your regrets, maybe your losses, maybe your heartache, maybe it's your joy, maybe it's your success, maybe it's the people you're worried about, maybe it's the people you're praying for, maybe it's the things you really desire that you haven't found words for. Whatever it is, what things is the best place to start? Just start the conversation. Now, to do this, you need to set aside time. You need to have quiet time where you just talk. Now, this could be in your heart or in your head. As Dumbledore says, of course it's in your head, but why doesn't that mean it's real? So in your heart, in your head, it can be audible, but tell him all the things. That's a shout out to Stin Hansen right there from the Bible. All the things that are in your heart, all the things you're worried about, all the things you love, all the dreams you have, all the people you're thinking of, the things that are tough. That's where you start. And you just keep talking. And it is my experience, it is my witness, that as you do this, you will eventually start to hear somebody else on the other end of that conversation. After Jesus asked the questions, Cleopas says, "Oh, all about Jesus from Nazareth. There was a man, a prophet, strong in what he did and what he said, in God's eyes as well as the people's. Haven't you heard how our chief priests and rulers handed him over for execution and had him crucified? But we were hoping he was the one who was come to set Israel free. As if that were not enough, it's 3 days since all this happened, and some of our womenfolk have disturbed us profoundly." You know, womenfolk have the ability to do that, I would say. "For they went to the tomb at dawn, and then they couldn't find his body. They said they had had a vision of angels who said that he was alive. Some of our people went straight off to the tomb and found things just as the women had described them, but they didn't see him. Then he himself spoke to them. 'Oh, how foolish you are, how slow to believe in all that the prophets have said. Was it not inevitable that Christ should suffer like that and so find his glory?' Then, beginning with Moses and all the prophets, he explained to them everything in the scriptures that referred to himself." Well, notice as he explains what things, Jesus has a reply. And you know what? If I could get that discourse, I would be happy to be called foolish and slow to believe, because that is the one text I think any scriptural scholar would love to get their hands on. Continuing on, they were by now approaching the village to which they were going. He gave the impression that he meant to go on further, and he will. But they stopped him with the words, "Do stay with us. It is nearly evening and the day will be soon over." Again, the invitation on this end is to ask him to stay with you, to abide with you. He will come and go as invited into your life. The invitation's there for you to tell him all the things in your heart. The song for this episode is "The Scientist" by Coldplay. I love the song so much. I just hear the first chord and somehow my eyes are pricked with tears. It just says, "Nobody said it'd be easy. It's such a shame for us to part. Tell me your secrets. Ask me your questions. I want to go back to the start." Well, the start is the truth that you knew him way before you came here. And you knew our heavenly parents way before you came here. So it's not a matter of creating a relationship. It's a matter of remembering those precious relationships and inviting them to have a role and a place in your life. Carve out time. I've found that the car, if I could turn off the music, is a really great time. Or if you meditate, or if you have a quiet moment, this is the invitation. What things? May the heavens smile on you and this new school year, this new academic chance at life. I will be flying out to divinity school in a couple of days. If you have an extra prayer in your heart, I could use it. I'm so excited and terrified and everything else, all the things. May the heavens smile upon you, my friends. May you be blessed with both love and light.
Thank you for joining us for Reflecting Light with Mandy Green. If you enjoy this podcast, please leave a good rating and share it with your friends. And remember, your light makes the world a brighter place. Share it.